So, how do you feel about the new Spider-Man game coming out?
I'm hyped for it, like straight up, because I played Miles Morales. And it was like really fun. Like it was very much like what I expect from a Spider-Man game. Like period. I was actually surprised I liked it with its new way of like how to Spider-Man is played with like new powers, electricity and stuff like that that Miles Morales has. It was it was
Yeah,
awesome.
Spider-Man games have definitely taken a big evolutionary step from like the PS1 Spider-Man that was kind of based off like the animated series from the 90s.
I actually love that game so much.
I never played that one, but I did play some of the ones based off of like the original trilogy with Toby.
Oh yeah, like the movie
Yeah.
game franchise.
Honestly, I really actually kind of miss video games based off of movies because like you would have like the main core story of the movie, but then like extra added in stuff to make it more complicated
I
or
mean,
more fun.
I get that. I totally get that. Like one thing I know about like with Spider-Man, especially when it comes to like especially video games, is that the tone of it is a lot different from like something you see in DC. It's very lighthearted, very comic booky. It doesn't take itself seriously as a whole.
Yeah.
And I like that because you can see that in the video games.
Yeah.
Like if you look back at like the PS2 games of like the movie series like Spider-Man's 1, 2, and 3, like in a movie it's obviously like it has its own tone. It's very like it has its comedic moments, but it's otherwise takes itself seriously as a movie. Whereas a game, they know it's a game. They treat it like a game, and all the villains you fight, aside from like the movie one,
Well, they're more exaggerated versions of their movie counterparts.
exactly. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you remember Spider-Man 2, like the whole like debacle of like Mysterio and that
Yeah.
fighting him. Like you go through all this stuff fighting him and stuff like that. And then you stop in at a convenience store. He has like 3 health bars, and you get them all down in one hit. I mean, like, I always love those things because you know the people who like were making the games are having a lot of fun with it, and like I really hope that they really just blow me away with how like the Spider-Man 2 is gonna be, because like I've seen games with Black Suit Spider-Man, and like they're brutal, and like I really want to make sure that this is a great game, like
Yeah.
especially with Venom because he's like a great dynamic.
Yeah. Have you played the first Spider-Man game in this series?
This actually no, I've just played Miles Morales.
Okay. So to me, these games are really like going towards the level of Arkham for Batman.
Okay.
Like honestly, like these are really like that level for me. Like the first game, you know, you're going around, you're doing your Spider-Man thing. I don't want to spoil the game for you. If you,
I mean, I have some ideas of what the game is.
so like you know, you're going through the game, and like the main villain is Doc Ock,
right.
but you don't know that until like the very end,
Okay.
which is honestly awesome. Like they could really take that storyline from that game and make that a movie for Spider-Man. And
I mean, I've seen a couple of clips when I was watching like the trailers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it looks like they were heading in that direction. Like during the clips, you obviously see a very cinematic, like realistic looking like visuals, like camera, faces, and everything. And it's amazing how much they put into it. Like they take advantage of every dollar in the budget.
yeah, so like you know, like at the very beginning of the game, you go up against Kingpin, you take him down, and then like throughout the game, like you know, there's Shocker and
Like low tier villains in a way.
yeah, more like his B level villains, and then there's Negative Man or whatever his name is.
Negative Man.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
No.
I'm just hearing this. I'm
I
just
don't-
gonna believe you.
I don't know what his actual name is, but he has like negative force powers.
So everything's just reverse, or
So like he's an Asian guy,
like a reverse Magneto.
and like so whenever like he uses his powers, he like you know like you have your negative filters for like your camera and stuff. It's like that. And, like he can like shoot energy blasts or something. Hell, I don't. It's been a while since I've played through the game. Like
that sounds like it's up Spider-Man's alley, though.
Yeah. But like you know, Peter isn't in high school. He's working for Octavius in his lab, who is
Does the Daily Bugle get involved at all in it?
So they kind of went the route like they did with MCU Spider-Man, where
he's a college student.
No, Jameson is like a
podcast guy, like kind of like Alex
but like
Jones,
he's
right?
still but still running the Daily Bugle.
Okay, it's like tabloid.
Yeah, kind of. So like, you're swinging through the city and you just hear him running his mouth the whole time, and then you're doing your Spider-Man thing. You stop some thugs. You stop some of the negative dudes, villains over here. You stop some of Kingpin's guys over here. Yada yada. And then you have like Silver Sable.
Like a bunch of them, basically.
Yeah, the game is filled with villains and like little side missions, kind of like the Riddler trophies and stuff like that from Arkham. So you have all that. So like that game to me, it did remind me a lot of Arkham Asylum. It's just it's a fun game. You're going
fight
through
baddies, you go see the villains and fight them.
Exactly. But it's a little bit more free roam than Arkham Asylum was.
Yeah, it just feels like the thing is right with Spider-Man, you just feel like a superhero.
Yes.
And like some of Arkham, yeah, you are a superhero, but you kind of just feel like you're just some like how do you word it? Just some
badass.
Just a badass. I feel more like in a Rambo movie than I do in a superhero movie type of feeling. So
you have all that, and then you've played Miles Morales. You go through and you play that, and as you're playing Miles, he's a very inexperienced Spider-Man, because Peter's not in the game really at all.
Yeah.
Other than like the very beginning, I think right after you finish the game.
I mean, I played a bit way through, so I know like Spider-Man was out of the picture. He had to do something out of the city.
Yeah, he was
he's Spider-Man until then.
He was like in Europe with Mary Jane or something.
Yeah, he had this and he was investigating this high-tech crime gang or whatever.
Yeah,
and like there was a whole like drama with that. I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but
there's that, and then
he also discovers his extra powers.
Yeah, but you play as Peter in the first game, everything is just so smooth. Like combat is nice, the dodging mechanics are nice. You have all your different webbing abilities or whatever.
I mean, they had to be. That was like the first one of the set because they had to wow everybody before they can ever make something new.
And by God, they did.
Yeah, they did a really good job. They were super careful. That's how you make a game.
And then you get to Miles, and it's like, wow, this is vastly different than playing as Peter. Like his combat is not great because he hasn't fought anybody like super major. His web slinging is not great because he's still getting used to it. Like, you get your own first real suit in the middle of that game towards the end.
Right. Like you grow into like
you are Spider-Man. Growing into Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're there in case Peter can't be there, type of thing.
Exactly, but like Miles is just as much Spider-Man as Peter is. Right. He's just his own version of it, and I think that's awesome. Before the game came out, I never really knew anything much about Miles, but like playing as Miles, like it made me want to learn a little bit. He's really become his own character. He got into the Spider-Verse.
For the longest time, I always thought that Miles was actually like part of a reboot for Spider-Man, but after I realized that, oh no, he's actually supposed to be another Spider-Man, like in New York helping him out, then I was like, you know what, this actually is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always worried about like just reboots for the sake of reboots, just because like you want to just have another writer or whatever. But
honestly,
I have no problem with like Miles Morales being in the game at all.
I have an issue with changing characters for the sake of changing them and the sake of
make things
new.
And
diversity. Like I get it. Representation matters, and it matters a lot. But Miles being Spider-Man, he's very different than Peter. his Spider-Man takes nothing away from Peter's Spider-Man, and Peter's Spider-Man takes nothing away from him.
Like he's a perfect fit for it.
Exactly.
Like, and the thing is, like, when it comes to that topic, it's like the way you execute these like things, like wanting to add this new character, even if it was like for diversity, it does matter a lot how you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, like Miles Morales is very believable. Like he is in New York. New York is a diverse place, and you know, if you're studying under like people like Peter Parker and stuff like that, like you're gonna have to learn new things, especially you're coming from one side of New York City or whatever. I mean, it's very different.
Well, like, so years ago before Stan Lee died, he was like, I really don't like the idea of you guys changing all of these characters that we created. If you want new characters, I'll come back to work. I'll do it for free. I will create you new characters. But, like, this is dumb. Because, like, they made X-23 into Wolverine. They made Jane Foster into Thor. And a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's like, no. No one wants this. No one asked for it. Like, if you want to do that, make a new character.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, imagine all the stuff you can do. Like, for example, like, with just the material you have with, like, Spider-Man, like, especially in the games, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they created, like, different dimension Spider-Man, like, the different iterations of him, and without changing Peter at his core. We had, like, Ultimate Spider-Man. It's all, like, completely new art design and direction, but it worked perfectly well. You had Web of Shadows. That was a new take on like Spider-Man. That was a lot more grim. I don't know if you played it. It was amazing.
I played a little bit at a friend's house, and that was it. I've watched gameplay from Shattered Dimensions.
Okay.
So like you're going through and it's kind of like the original version of the Spider-Verse movies.
Right. I mean, like it's kind of like the base part of it in a way, because it all involves like the Spider-Verse or different dimensions of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But the one thing about Spider-Man Web of Shadows, I played this game to death when it was out. Like literally, it plays like Devil May Cry in a way, and it was just kind of weird. But you have the whole like exploring the city type of situation, but when it comes to fighting, your light moves and heavy moves are depending on whether or not you use a black suit. So the mechanics are tied to the morality system of the game.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because you can branch off completely and fight completely different bosses just because of your choices. And it blew my mind how many, and like, I didn't know how many endings there were then, but it blew my mind how different you can make the game. And I mean, I'm going to have to spoil it. It's been out so long. Like, you have freaking symbiote Wolverine, you have symbiote Vulture, you have symbiote Black Cat, and they're all like, they designed it just for this game, and I didn't think they would, but it's amazing because like Venom, for example, like here's my take on Venom, right? He is basically like the rapper to Spider-Man. Like he is basically like how Joker is to Batman, like straight up. I don't think any other villain kind of like compares in a way.
Well, for the most part, Venom's barely even a villain anymore.
Well, now he's an anti-hero.
Yeah, kind of like Harley Quinn's become.
Yeah.
It's like, just because the character is popular doesn't mean it has to become a hero. I mean, it can still be a villain.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, I don't mind him being an anti-hero. I mean, like, I just think, like, I still would like it if they were just still enemies, even though, like, they were doing, like,
it's like,
their own thing.
Yeah, they're kind of doing the same thing, but it's like they see each other. It's on site.
Yeah, it's on site. Like you're about to bro down basically.
Like someone's getting their ass whooped.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's not a new thing. Like Venom doing good. I don't know if you played the first Spider-Man like for the PS1. It's not the very first Spider-Man game, granted, but like for Spider-Man PS1, he was actually a villain for a good portion, but he ends up helping Peter Parker out, like to fight the bigger bad. Oh my god, that. If there's any game that was like a comic book, it was Ultimate Spider-Man, and it was Spider-Man 1 and 2 for the PlayStation. They were completely different. Like, those were my vision of what Spider-Man was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
my biggest vision of Spider-Man has always been Spider-Man the Animated Series from the 90s. Like, that is exactly what Spider-Man's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, until, I got older And then my views of Spider-Man have changed a little bit. Because, you know, I am that person. I want accuracy when I see these characters in their mediums. For me, like, you know, live action, for example, the best Spider-Man we've had is Andrew Garfield.
You think so?
I do.
That's just that debate again. I'm sorry. I'm just a big fan of Tobey Maguire.
I love the Tobey movies.
He has a spot in my heart that I don't think Andrew Garfield or whoever the new guy is
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland can fill. I mean, like, I like Tom Holland when he was playing, but he's forgettable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's not great. But, like, I love the Tobey movies. I really do. But for me, you know, Spider-Man, you know, when he's beating somebody up, you know, he's laughing at you and making fun of you the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, that's, a big part of who he is, because he's a smartass. None of them have really captured that except for Andrew Garfield.
I mean, have you seen the wrestling scenes in Spider-Man the movie?
Okay.
Like,
that's like the one time in those entire movies that he actually does it.
And Spider-Man 3, when he had the black suit.
Look. That movie, I've seen that movie like once.
Look, Spider-Man 3 was my least favorite of the trilogy. But I enjoyed it just because, like, it ended it like where it should be. You don't need to do any more of it. I mean, you know, I played 1 and 2 for the movie games, but I never played 3, and I never had the chance to.
I know I played some of 1 and 2. I know I didn't finish them because my friends had them, but I know I never played the third one.
One thing I liked is when I played a tutorial, and it was like Bruce Campbell just like talking trash at me about trying to. This is how you move.
You know, he was supposed to be Mysterio.
He can't be Mysterio. He's the bellhop, and he's this other guy.
That's why he was Mysterio.
I know.
He was supposed to be Mysterio in Spider-Man 4.
Really?
Yeah. Because it was, I think it's
supposed to be... going to be like something that ties it all in. Like he's all these people, like the Wizard. Yeah. He's like just trying to be Mysterio.
It was supposed to be, I think, Mysterio and Vulture. And I think maybe Black Cat was supposed to be in it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know if it could have worked because, like, it wasn't really just Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man, Mary Jane, and Harry Osborn. Like, there was a story between the 3 of them. Like, even if it was Spider-Man in there, it's like, once one of them's dead, that's it. You're just gonna have Spider-Man. Yeah. And we could just like strike 4. Like, you don't really need to have it there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we have gotten all the first 5 Spider-Man movies. Because I don't like the MCU ones.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought the newest one was fun. I don't think it needed to exist.
So, it
was fun. I mean, I had a good time watching it.
It had its moments, but it was pure nostalgia.
Yeah, I don't think it needed to exist. Like, unless it was needed for something in the future, like what happened in the post-credits of Spider-Man, like No Way Home.
So and this is just a big rumor, nothing has been confirmed, but Andrew and Tobey are supposed to come back for Secret Wars.
God.
Supposedly.
I don't know. I don't like it because it seems like they're just gonna like do something stupid like kill them off, because they killed off like a bunch of people for like Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
I mean, like, God, off topic, but like.
Yeah, we went very off topic. It's okay.
It's fine because like we're talking about like how they.
The topic is adjacent.
Yeah. If you played Spider-Man PS1, right? Like, here's the thing, right? The symbiote's also like a big centerpiece of that. Like, symbiotes for like the second half are like the main villain. Like, you have to deal with Venom, of course, but you also have to deal with like the miniature ones that kind of look like Play-Doh, which is pretty funny. Then Carnage, and then like apparently Carnage's symbiote fused with Doc Ock, and it became this a creature called Monster Ock. And the fight wasn't a fight at all. The fight was you have to run away from him before his base gets nuked. like straight up, and you can't kill him. He's like a one hit killer.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he's like a monster, like straight up.
I don't remember if it was in
I was terrified.
An animated series or like one of the animated series or in a comic where Carnage bonded to Green Goblin.
God, that would have been so cool.
Now that's crazy.
That would have been really cool. I mean, like a mix of like that Goblin like freaking fusion of like what was it? Radiation, chemicals.
Yeah.
And with Carnage like messing up his head.
Crazy.
It'll be too much.
So, what are your hopes and expectations for the new Spider-Man game?
Well, I hope that like when it comes to like Peter's gameplay, it isn't just Black Suit Spider-Man. Like I feel like it should be like maybe I hope like ideally like you can decide whether or not to use a suit, and that depends on like whether or not you get Venom out sooner or later, or like how like a fight would happen or whatever. But it's like I'd rather see like different mechanics based off of that, similar to how like it was in Miles. So instead of like upgrading like the electro powers is whatever, you're upgrading like the black suit instead.
Yeah.
And it's like you have the core Spider-Man, but these things are extras, and then you're probably going to take advantage of that. And that's like part of him being tempted to be like Venom Spider-Man instead of like, you know, regular one. I don't know if you've seen the ending to the trailer, like when he's like, my teeth are bigger, and it's like his eyes slowly like shifted to Venom.
So I've seen a theory going around saying that or asking what if Peter is Venom in the game.
Peter is Venom? Like here's how I can see that, right? Like I can picture it like this. Like Peter like wants out of the suit, but Venom's holding him hostage inside.
Yeah.
And Venom's like basically like the villain, but Peter's completely lost control.
Yeah.
And like it's just Miles trying to chase and trying to save him from that. I can see that working, but I really want to see if Eddie Brock can be put in somehow, because he's Venom for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. I'm really excited for the switching mechanic between the two of them.
Yeah.
Where so like in the gameplay, you know, Peter's here, Miles is closer to where Peter needs to be, so you just switch to Miles, and then eventually Peter catches up. Like, that's really cool, and I really like the thought behind it, because I was wondering how that was gonna happen, whether like, oh yeah, nope, you're just gonna be one or the other, and that's it. But I'm glad we're actually gonna get to play as both.
Yeah, I was really worried that it was just gonna be like chapter based, like you played him as like Peter in one scene, like Miles in another, and maybe you do free roam with both, like in the city, like saving cats or whatever. I hope it's like you can dynamically play between them during the same combat, which it seems like you could, very much so. Especially with it's gonna be a lot of movement, which I'm kind of like worried about being glitches and stuff like that.
Well, that's why you never get a game right when it comes out.
Yeah, I always wait like a couple weeks just so I can hear. Should I buy or should I leave it?
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna buy it.
You are gonna buy it?
Oh yeah,
first day.
I don't know if it'll be first day, but like
as soon as you could.
As soon as I'm able to buy it, it will be.
I mean, like I have no excuse now. Spider-Man like 1 is on the PC now, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I might as well just get it and play it. I mean, like, can my PC run it? I'm just thinking about that. I know this. I mean, the laptop I'm using right now can't run it at all. I don't expect it to run anything. But oh my god,
it's definitely worth it.
I believe you. Hang on, I'm gonna show you like freaking Monster Ock. It's crazy.
So like, honestly, Spider-Man for PS4 was so much better than I expected or wanted it to be.
Yeah. Let me lower it real quick. Ads. Alright, here we go. This traumatized me as a kid, like straight up.
This is traumatizing me now.
And that was it. He has no words or anything like that. It's just straight up a monster. And you have to run from him, and that's it.
So
And that's it.
kind of funny. There's a similar scene to this in the Gotham Knights game.
Is there?
Yeah, where you're running from Clayface.
Oh, is he like he's in there? I gotta get Gotham Knights. I mean, I gotta play the Arkham games before I go to Gotham Knights.
They're not connected.
I know they're not connected.
No. Nothing to do with one another.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of thought they would be because, Knights and
So
Arkham Knight, Gotham Knight.
the three main Arkham games, so Asylum, City, and Night, were by Rocksteady.
Okay.
Origins was made by Warner Brothers Montreal, so a different studio. They are the ones who made Gotham Knights.
Montreal then?
Yeah, so Warner Brothers Montreal made Gotham Knights.
Okay. I thought it would be like, oh, wait, no. Yeah, I think I can see that then. They have different tones.
Yeah, they're vastly different.
Yeah.
I love all of them, though.
I really want... I'm saying this in the Spider-Man podcast. I really want, like, a payday type of game where you play as, like, goons. And then you gotta commit a robbery before Batman shows up. And he's, like, the guy, like, you gotta run away from him type of situation.
I think that's the premise of Lego DC's supervillains. Like, you have to commit all these crimes before the heroes get there.
God, why'd it have to be Lego?
Hey, you shut up. Those Lego games are amazing.
Yeah, but the Lego games.
And
that's it.
Look.
I look. If I wanted a Lego game, I'll play any of the Lego games. But sometimes I don't want to play with Legos.
look, the original Lego Batman game is the single greatest Lego game of all time.
Why do you think they never made a Lego Spider-Man?
I don't know, but I think Lego Spider-Man would make so much money.
It would make bank. Like Lego Doc Ock, and that's like Lego Vulture, Scorpion, Rhino, the whole gang. Shocker. That would be pretty boss, especially like with like Lego New York. Like,
yeah.
With that, I mean, like they have the perfect opportunity. Maybe it's a deal they have with DC. I don't know.
No, because there's Lego Marvel games.
No, there ain't.
Yes, there is.
No, there ain't.
Look it up.
Let me see.
Why would I?
What should I look up? Lego Marvel.
Yeah.
Lego Marvel. Oh, you're not kidding.
No, I'm not. Why would I lie about that?
I don't know. I mean, like no one tells me anything. I mean, like I don't follow like Lego lore.
Look, Lego don't give a damn. Lego's gonna make anything.
I mean, like the only Lego games I played was like Lego Island and like Rock Raiders and Lego Star Wars, like the first one.
So Lego Star Wars and Lego Batman. Incredible. Look, they made a Lego Harry Potter. Did you really think they wouldn't make a Lego Marvel?
I don't know. Look, when I think of Lego like Spider-Man right now, I'm just thinking of like just a Lego Spider-Man model on Spider-Man 2, and he's just ragdolling everywhere because he can't swing right.
Exactly.
And just in real New York with like some mod.
That's why it would be fun.
I would love that. In Spider-Man 1, in the movie game, they had this like Easter egg, I think, unlockable, where you play like pinball, not pinball, like bowling with the swinging like dive kick, and you just like hit them and like do strikes and stuff like that. Oh my god! I mean, like I hope they just like really emphasize a fun factor in like Spider-Man 2. Even though like I know they're gonna have something like with the low story, you want to make it like cinematic and fun and stuff. But I really want the game to just be fun, because like games have to be like fun, otherwise there's no point.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to make a movie, just make a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I am excited for the Craven aspects.
I really am interested, because the only time I ever heard of Craven the Hunter was in Spider-Man the musical. I mean, like, I don't know if you ever seen that.
No.
And so
I'm good.
I appreciate his existence. I don't recommend it to anybody. Like, I just know that he exists in there, and that's the only way I know him, and that's sad to say. But yeah.
No, I think Craven's a really cool villain. He definitely pushes Spider-Man to different levels than most of his other villains, just because of how he is and what he does. Because he hunts
like
everything.
He looks like a serious threat. He's not like some like Joker guy.
Yeah,
like, he's like low tier.
Like he's a regular person, but like kind of like Kingpin. He can throw Spider-Man
like he could throw
like
down.
a rag doll.
Yeah, I mean Spider-Man, like he's not meant to be like. He was never meant to be like Superman tier strong. He just has that perk when he needs to. He can still get his ass kicked if he's not paying attention.
Well, he's lifted buildings. Like Spider-Man is so much stronger than most people actually realize he is. Like he can legit he can trade blows with Hulk.
I know he could, but I'm saying like he still takes hits like a regular guy.
Yeah.
Like he'll take a hit. I mean like, but I'm sure.
Well, so he has to roll with people's punches, or else they'll like break and shatter their entire hands and arms on his body.
You think so? You think he's like has that like
that's a
X-Men armor? Like
that is a comic book fact.
Really?
Yes.
Roll with the punches. He just lets them.
He has to, or else they will shatter their hands.
Oh, he doesn't want to shatter their hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like as much as he enjoys saving people and beating people up, he doesn't want to hurt anyone. He just wants to help people.
It's gonna be interesting to see that with Black Suit Spider-Man. Like, does he care?
No, he doesn't.
No.
You actually see a little bit of that in the gameplay.
Like where he just straight up like
right at
machine gun kicks his
like at the end of the gameplay trailer, you see him save the one guy, and instead of setting him down easily, he just kind of whoop, there you go.
Yeah.
And then he's ready to go back after the lizard.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I love the design for the lizard.
Was he in this trailer or I missed it?
Yeah. He's very kaiju-esque.
Okay. Like like Godzilla type of like a deal.
Yeah.
Like not like Godzilla, like maybe Godzilla like 2000 Godzilla.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back.
I got you.
Okay.
But it's a really cool design.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Like he's got the spikes and everything.
Like he looks like a freaking monster, like a brute,
like,
absolute beast.
That's what's cool is he looks like a badass, legit monster. So I really like that these games are playing into the mystical, I guess, aspect.
Like comic booky aspect.
Yeah.
Like it's like it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like they allow these things to happen.
Yeah, but like it still has like that touch of wow, this.
Yeah, like it's not like it doesn't need any magic to make it basically act like magic in a way. Like you don't need to like have some wishy-washy realistic explanation of how Venom, Shocker, Scorpion, or the Lizard work. You can just have
it's unapologetically
like a comic book. I wouldn't want it any other way, because if they did, I probably would have hated it.
Yeah,
like straight up, like kind of like how
I always hated it.
But yeah,
I'm excited for the game. I'm really excited to see how like the web slinging has been upgraded since Miles Morales.
I mean, like I can't. At some point, you're just gonna like not expect it to be any different in a way, because like, yeah, you can only improve web slinging for so much.
Yeah.
Like at some point, you're just gonna change it. And someone's
it could be a downgrade. Like
it could be a downgrade.
MCU Spider-Man was from the Amazing Spider-Man.
You really hate Tom Holland.
I don't hate Tom Holland.
You don't hate you hate the Tom Holland movies.
I hate the MCU Spider-Man because he's horrendous.
Yeah, I mean like. I don't see it being a downgrade unless like it affects dynamic gameplay at some point.
Did you notice where they got the web wings?
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm really excited for that.
I mean, like so much shit you can do with the webs and stuff like that. That you can just make
like it's gonna be really cool to like slingshot yourself and fly over New York.
It kind of looks weird, like kind of like a Green Lantern type of vibe. You can make web domes, web wings, web like web spears or whatever.
Well, I mean, spiders in nature can do all sorts of stuff, especially if they're on drugs.
No, just interesting that they can do that on a fly. Oh, I know that video. Because Spider's on drugs.
Yeah.
Just have him on different things. Oh,
Exactly.
I don't think Spider-Man would. I don't think Spider-Man would approve of drugs though.
I would hope not.
Yeah, at least not intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, like getting bit or like getting symbioted or like I don't know, getting goblin.
Don't do bath salts.
Don't do bath salts, or else you're gonna be like Spider-Man, like the Times Square Spider-Man, like straight up. Like, but yeah, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, no, I think the evolution of Spider-Man games has been great because they're just continually evolving and getting better, and I'm so excited for Spider-Man 2. Yeah. And I'm really hoping, at least by the end of the game, for a peek at Green Goblin.
Yeah, like at least something, because like Oscorp and stuff, I need to see that. So don't freaking let me down, Sony, or else I won't buy your one game on your PS5.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
No, I would not.
Yes, you will.
I won't.
Shut your mouth.
Oh my goodness.
Shut up.